good, ladies and gentlemen? In today's video, I will show you how to build temple to take down level 1 to 9,999 steel path enemies in Warframe, taking care of your survivability and DPS using Lazy. Let's go! And that's what I'm talking about, baby. Hit the like button to support the channel in the algorithm, much appreciated. As always, before I build my weapons and my warframes, I rely on my method called DVS. D stands for how I'll be dealing damage, what elements I'll be using, what's the faction I'll be fighting. V stands for how I proc 10 stacks of viral to make enemies vulnerable by 325% more damage to their HP. S stands for how I strip enemies armor. We don't care about armor, we care about the damage reduction that comes with armor. Let's go. And as always, we take beginners friendly approach for Thanos to learn about Temple, starting with his passive. Play abilities in sync with the backseat metronome to invigorate ability effect while increasing ability efficiency by 50%. In the meaning of, there is a metronome you need to hit so the abilities perform better. And not only that, when you do so, you can increase your ability efficiency by 50%. And this is the metronome. It's very obvious. There is no other Warframe have this, any of this. You know, the jiggling metronome. Now, you see right there between the line, that's where you need to charge. Hitting by any ability during the metronome hit, boom. See that? It's charging. Boom. Other ability. Boom. Third ability. Boom. So you get the idea. So his abilities get more powerful when you hit in that range, and also you get ability efficiency as well, which is really deadly. And from now on, the metronome mechanic, we call it the backbeat. Keep that in mind. Starting with the first ability, pyrotechnics. You hit pillars, and when you hit it at the backbeat timings, you hit even more pillars and it ignites enemies with heat. Now, this is the subsumable helmet ability, and this is the ability that you want to replace with another helmet if you want to. And this is the ability you can nuke the map with. I would say low to mid game for most of the players. Otherwise, it requires a lot of synergies to make it kill high level enemy in higher level content. Simple as that. Now, let's take a look at how it works. Simple and easy ability actually. Check this out. Outside of the backbeat, normal pillars. Inside the backbeat, boom. Boom. As you can see, more pillars in there. Very easy ability to understand. Second ability, overdrive. Drive loudspeakers into epic distortion to create a damaging wave of heat damage, while also increasing vulnerability to critical chance. In the meaning of, the enemy that you will hit them with overdrive, they receive higher critical chance. You make them vulnerable to more critical chance. For example, just an example, you're hitting yellow crits, with this ability you will hit orange crits, and so on. But if you hit this ability on backbeat timings, the critical chance increase, which is affected by ability strength, you can see down there, it's doubled. Means you will receive double. For example, 32 there, it will be 64. Let's take a look. And we're going to be using Riot and modded, of course. There we go. Just we're going to hit the enemies like yellow crits, normally, nothing crazy, nothing special. Now, if I hit them with the second ability outside of the backbeat, like so, now they're vulnerable, as you can see right here. Alright, we are still doing yellow crits, as it's not guaranteed to increase, but there is orange right there. Okay, there we go. Because it's a chance after all. But if we hit it at the backstage, there we go, and boom. And now you can see already we're doing more orange crits. So also it depends on the weapon you're using and how much critical chance it has. And so when it increases, it can decide for it how much it really does. Simple as that. And Temple third ability, Reaper's Wail. Rip on the guitar to make Temple briefly invulnerable while healing them. Allies' weapon in affinity range are lit up with extra hit damage each time an ability is used on the backbeat and successfully hit an enemy. Up to 750% hit damage increase, which is insane. But it requires that you hit those enemies. But if you cast it on the backbeat timings, invulnerability lasts even longer. Let's take a look. Alright, summoning some enemies. You need to make sure that you hit those enemies, otherwise it will not work. And here you go, on the backbeat. Extra vulnerability, and there we go, we got the Reaper Wail. There you go, we'll cast it one more time. Go. Now, as I said, you need to hit those enemies. And this ability, the only thing I don't like about it is that it requires unique enemies, and it also locks you down, you can't move. Now, I wish one day, if they consider reworking the third ability, that they make him able to move on the third. But maybe this is the way they try to balance his survivability so we don't abuse it. But it is what it is. And now Temple 4th ability and his exalted weapon, Exalted Solo. When you charge the backbeat, you can summon your exalted weapon, Lizzie. It works like a flamethrower or like the Ignis Wraith, but when you hit it on the backbeat timing, no energy at all. In the meaning of, you charge the metronome backbeat like so. Boom, boom, boom. And that's the energy you will use. There is no ammo. It's like the fuel for your 4th ability, Exalted Weapon. Now it's summoned. Let's summon some enemies. And there you go. Now if I right click, I can hit those enemies with any elements I want. Viral, corrosive, cold. Look at that, magnetic. I can choose wherever I want. There you go. And now you can recharge the metronome just by hitting other abilities like so. Boom, boom, and then you keep on. And you can hit the flamethrower and the elements at the same time. The little problem is that, which is not a problem actually, it's really awesome, and I hope he doesn't nerf it, is that the elements are used for free. So you can't use them for shield gating, because it will be very, very broken if you can, okay? So you need to right click on and off if you want to do some shield gating mechanics. Before we move any further in the video, you need to understand what is shield gating. It's very simple. In Warframe, not like any other game, when you receive a fatal blow, you don't die. You lose your shield, screen will glitch, and you enter gate phase. You become invulnerable for a certain duration, depends on how much shields you have. It's capped at 1150 shields for 2.5 seconds invulnerability, and then if you don't return any shields, you just die. So, the whole idea is you return your shield before the invulnerability phase ends. And now let's start with the Archon Shard. Since the Temple 4th ability can proc Corrosive, so I'll be running 2 Emerald Archon Shards to push the stacks of Corrosive from 10 to 14, as the Corrosive works like so. 10 stacks, the first stack will remove enemy's armor by 26%, and every stack after will remove enemy's armor by 6%. Now, with 2 Emerald Archon Shards, we can push the stacks of Corrosive from 80% to 104% for 100% armor strip, so the enemy's HP will turn from yellow to red. Now, you can run 1 Tau Forged Emerald Archon Shards, but you'll be at 90% armor strip, now totally up to you. I prefer 100%. Then we got Crimson for ability strength, and we got another Crimson for ability strength, and 1 Amber Tau Forged for casting speed. Of course, they don't have to be Tau Forged, you can run whatever you want. Now, I'll be running Condemn as a helmet ability, and this guy really... I was thinking a lot about what helmet ability can go with him. Honestly, you can go with Gloom, you can go with Condemn, you can go with Ensnare, you can go with Ivara helmet ability Quiver, you can go with Evade from Site 09. wherever, anything you feel comfortable with. Because he have viral, he have corrosive, so nourish and tempest barrage not really necessary. You can go roar, you can go wrathful advance, I don't care, just run whatever you want, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. The reason I'm running Condemn because I built this guy in a very tanky style. So first thing first, he is a brief respite shield gating, means when I cast my abilities, the energy I spent will be converted to shields. That's where brief respite comes in. Prime Sure-Footed to resist knockdown. Now, a lot of Thanos doesn't have Prime Sure-Footed as it's a login reward after 400 days login. I hope DE put it in Barukitir and we close the case about Prime Sure-Footed. Now, if you don't have that, you can run Power Drift. Or if you want to resist knockdowns, you can run Handspring, which is my favorite, honestly. Now, Primed Continuity for duration, Primed Throw for energy max, Precision Intensify for 90% ability strength for your 4th ability, which is the one we're focusing in to kill enemies, Equilibrium to convert health pickups to energy and energy pickups to health, and Fast Deflection for shield recharge and shield recharge delay, Vigilante Vigor the same, and Primed Redirection for shield capacity, Rolling Guard for bad situations. We'll be running 910 shields for 2.2 seconds and vulnerability. Now, Arcane Energizer, energy pickup, 60% chance to replenish 150 energy to self and allies. Arcane Aegis is really important for this build, as on shield damage, 3% chance for 30% shield recharge for 12 seconds. Now, this Warframe, you can build them in many different ways. Now, you can take off as deflection, vigor, redirection, it's okay, no problem with it. Run strength, more strength, just focus on strength, try to keep efficiency at 100 and run strength, and then what you want to do, you just go to the new Warframe Arcane, for example Arcane Hotshot, gain 6% weapon critical chance for 10 seconds when using abilities to inflict heat statue effect on enemies, maximum 50 stacks, or run whatever you really desire. This Warframe you can build him in many ways, focus on duration and strength. Now Condemn is really good because it will give us shield per hit and it will CC those enemies. It's Hero subsumable helmet ability. When it comes to Lazy, the way I decided to build it, since it comes with heat, I decided to build it for Blast. Now Blast got reworked recently and Blast get Blasty, as Blast deals 30% of base damage after 1.5 seconds, as an explosion at 10 stacks or on death. We're focusing on death. Stacks deal their damage simultaneously to enemies with 5 meter staggering. And then when we reach our Nautilus, we can see how we're going to synergize that together. Governance Aptitude, statue chance on kill, 40% direct damage per statue type affecting the target. Critical delay for critical chance. Primed Crew rounds for cold. Hand termination, when you crit we get slash hits on enemies. Primed Bane of Corpus, multiplicative damage against the faction you're fighting. Your place depends on the faction you're fighting. If you don't want to do that, just go with Serration. And I hope DE one day give us a system or way or an NPC where we can give our Bane modes, so we can get the, let's say, universal one. Vital Sense for critical damage, Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Rifle Elementalist for multiplicative damage, multiplicative statue damage, and Punch Through doesn't really matter right now. Now, the statue damage is by slash and termination. We got heat, the weapon, and it's really good on that. Electricity, toxin, blast, check, and we're good to go. As you can see right here, we got cold, corrosive, and everything is perfect. The primary deadhead on precision headshot kill, 360% and 30% headshot multiplier, weapon recall. Sinister Breach is the best in slot when it comes to Exodus for this weapon, 12 meter beam length. Now when it comes to my companion Nautilus, I'll be running this build. Cordon to pull enemies, Vacuum for the loot, Assault to attack, Guardian, boost owner shield by 100% when it runs out, Manifold for more Cordon, then Redirection for shield capacity, Tenacious Bone for critical damage if your Sentinel weapon passes 50% critical chance, Shield Charger, increase Warframe max shields and shield regeneration by 60% for 10 seconds, Reinforced Bond for fire rate, Primed Regen, Sentinel recover time reduced by 35 seconds, survives with 10 seconds of vulnerability. I'm running the best Sentinel weapon, Verglass Prime, but it requires a Riven with critical chance. This is the build. Now, if you don't want that, of course, you can run the Burst Laser Prime, or you can run the Primed Laser Rifle, or you can run the Vol Cloak, and you'll be good to go until you get a Riven for Verglass, or otherwise run it the way you just run it same way. Now let me show you how to play with this build against level 225 heavy corrupted gunners, of course unposed. Now every time I shield gate, I will just use my first ability Condemn and I will return my shield. Now if I have slash or any bad procs, I roll guard and there you go, you're good to go. Worst case scenario, just your operator move away and you'll be fine pretty much. Now second ability to make yourself to make enemies vulnerable to more critical chance. Third ability to get the heat buff and get the invulnerability. Fourth ability to activate your exalted weapon, and as you can see, if you right click you get those elements and those enemies doesn't stand a chance at all. Now let's summon more enemies really quick, and now we lock them down with condemn like so, and then right click, and let's say I want to armor strip them and proc viral on them, and I'll be good to go. Now remember, when you're right clicking, you're not going to shield gate. Means when you right click and you cast those abilities, shield gate will not work at all. Let's try get enemies to kill us really quick when I am on right click. Look, I'll be proccing viral on them and they can actually take us down. There you go. Because there is no consumption of energy. Now every time you lose your shield, make sure to release the right click. Okay, that's how you can survive and shield gate. Otherwise, just go with invisibility helmet ability instead of condemn, like Quiver for example, one of my favorite helmet abilities, and you can just like keep killing those enemies without worrying too much about the shield gating or the fourth ability. Or you can go with evade from sight, and you just keep landing headshots and taking down those enemies. Enemies with overguard like Eximus units or Thrax, you can use the magnetic, boom boom boom, you're good to go, and cold will increase the critical damage received on enemies. Very good Warframe, and actually I haven't had fun playing any Warframe for a very long time since Nidus, and this Warframe really amazing. I would give this Warframe 8 out of 10. It would be 9 out of 10 if the third ability doesn't lock you down when you become invulnerable, and I hope DE fixes that and he makes this Warframe really amazing, and he is really good. I highly recommend you try him. He's a bit squishy, and even the invulnerability is good, but he's still a bit squishy, so running him with invisibility or shield recharging or shield gating mechanic is how you can stay alive on high level content. Now low to mid game, we don't talk about that. I mean, you can just run even without mods and you'll be fine. Now I want to say special thanks to anyone supporting the channel in any way, by liking, subbing, commenting, follow me on Twitch, or joining my Discord, or follow me on TikTok. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And there is a lot of videos coming in the channel. Stay tuned. And I want to say special thanks to the Hall of Members, special VIPs, the Undisputed Donator, and other donators, and everyone in my community. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.